Hi everyone. So before we move on to the main video, there are three quick updates. So the first update is regarding the HDFC Bank stock. It has fallen recently by 5-6%. So there is a lot of panic in the market that, HDFC Bank there is some problem that is going on and it has become a bad stock. I am personally aggregating more of HDFC Bank. This is not a stock buying recommendation, but let me explain the rationale very quickly. The reason there is very simple, that there is a merger that has happened of HDFC, which is a housing finance company, and HDFC Bank. Now, the efficiency of the bank has always been better than the housing finance arm. Now, both the entities are merged. So, aayegi wo to niche, right? The HDFC Bank's operational efficiency is going to come down. So, making this as the reason, the stock has been made to fall quite a lot. Now, it is your wish whether you want to aggregate, not aggregate. This is the perspective I want to put forth. Second key point is regarding Ujjivan small finance. कि वहाँ पे reverse merger वाली चीज़ हो रही है. So the stock gave a lot of run up. I have personally made 90-95% of the money and I have decided to cut this stock. The reason is that there are other better, relevant, undervalued opportunities in the market. So I have decided to rotate my money there. Again, not a recommendation that you buy it, sell it, this, that. Okay. So I am just putting this key point out there. Now the third key point is regarding the Vedanta stock. It has been in the news. A lot of talks have been given about Vedanta, the achhi company ban jayegi, this, that, very recently. And please check this post here that Mr. Anil Agrawal, who is the lead promoter of the Vedanta group, he has come out and said that they are going to demerge Vedanta into a set of smaller companies. 4-5 companies ban jayegi, right? 4-5 companies will be there. And as a result, value unlocking will happen. Value unlocking ka matlab hota hai that there is this entity. Now, it's a big entity. It will not be able to perform very efficiently. So they are going to break it apart into small pieces, and each small piece is going to perform much better. Now, according to my analysis, I don't think that that is the intent of the Vedanta group promoters to begin with, and you will understand it. If you watch this video completely, you will learn a lot about corporate finance, corporate governance, all the salient points. Please watch my summary note also towards the end. It will help you clarify and consolidate everything. Also, a very quick request that I run a member YouTube community. All the quick updates that are happening in the stock market, I write very detailed posts. That HDFC Bank mein kya chal raha hai, what happened at Ujjivan Small Finance. So these are all real-time updates. If you are a serious investor in the market, do consider checking it out. The link is given in the description and comment box. It will help you become a better investor. Try it for a month and you will see a real difference in your investing skill set. So with that said, let's move over to the main video. Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So on today's video, I'm going to speak about a very interesting company called as Vedanta. Last year, they generated a profit of roughly 14,500 crores and declared a dividend of 41,000 crores. Now, this is absolute crazy कि company का profit is only 14,000 and they are giving dividends worth 41,000. The story gets even more interesting because 70% or almost 70% of the company is owned by the promoters. चलो ठीक है, like a lot of promoters own significant chunk of their company as shareholders. But on top of this, 100% of the promoter holding is pledged. Now, this makes a very interesting recipe to understand whatever is happening from a corporate governance point of view in this particular company. So I'm going to decode this entire case study. Will tell you point blank why retail investors should stay away from these type of companies, how a stock price is manipulated along the way, and what are some of the better investment opportunities. Please watch this video till the very end. I will talk about better investment opportunities than Vedanta, where risk is like less than half and the profit opportunities are more than double. So please listen to this video very carefully, make notes and also press the like button, because when you press the like button, these type of videos reach out to more fundamental investors and make them more aware. So let's begin, and first and foremost, let me help you understand the basic nature of Vedanta, and let us do it technically, and then I will speak about how Vedanta actually makes money. So if you study this chart, and this chart is from all the way till 2012, you will see that this is a highly cyclical stock. इसमें बहुत गिरावट आती है. The stock falls almost 80% also, and it has fallen 80% multiple times, right? Right now, if you take a look at this current downfall on the stock, it is somewhere around 52.99%. And more importantly, I will try to zoom out and show this to you. You will see that the stock has recently broken this support level. And यहाँ पे कोई support नहीं है. If it falls, it will fall by another 40-50% and the total fall will be somewhere close to 80%. So this is the risk that you're holding in case you're a holder of Vedanta stock as of now. So this is from a technical viewpoint. Now, let us speak about slightly more fundamental points. And in order to understand that, you need to understand a little bit more about Vedanta's business, how it actually makes money. So here is the operating profit breakup of Vedanta, and you will see that it basically mines and processes all these commodity oriented materials. For example, zinc, it extracts, processes and exports. Then it is also present in oil and gas, power and bunch of other raw material like aluminium. Also, it is a export driven business. Almost 59% of business comes from India and rest of the business comes from outside India from a bunch of other locations. Now, just to help you understand the corporate structure, this is a very important slide. This will help you understand whatever I'm going to speak next. So you can take a look that this is Vedanta Resources Limited and they have something called as Vedanta Limited, right? So these are two separate companies. Now they own shares in a bunch of other companies. For example, Bharat Aluminium is a major subsidiary of Vedanta Limited. Zinc India or Hindustan Zinc is another subsidiary company of Vedanta Group. This is owned by the government also. So almost 29% of holding is by the Indian government here. So they own a bunch of other businesses and they have a strong relationship with the government. Now, on top of this, you need to understand that this is a resource-driven monopoly type of business. Now, what is the meaning of this? Take a look at this particular slide and you will understand that almost 77% of zinc market in India is owned by Vedanta Group. So they have a monopoly when it comes to zinc. When it comes to oil and gas, 26%, aluminium, 37%, all this stuff. So you will see that they own a significant majority in natural resources in India and enjoy good business in that domain. So ये तो हो गई story अभी तक as to how they are making money. Now, what precisely is wrong with owning this type of a company and specifically Vedanta? What is wrong here? Because I talked about the fact that the stock can fall. I spoke about the fact that the pledge promoter holding is there, almost 100% of it. So exactly ho kya raha hai? That on one hand, they are owning like such good things, hobnobbing with the government, owning like a bunch of natural resource based businesses, all good things happening. So why is it that the company is struggling, or is it even struggling? So let us understand this deeply complicated story. So point number one is that see, Vedanta is a cyclical business. Why? Because it deals in commodities and the prices of commodity itself is very cyclical. Cyclical means that the price of aluminium or lead will go up like this, then fall like this, then go up like this, then fall like this, so on and so forth. And so would the stock price get mirrored according to this. So this is point number one. So there is nothing off with this. Now the problem is that the Vedanta Group does not want to pass any wealth to its own shareholders. They want to hold all the wealth for their own family. Now why is that the case? For this you need to understand the balance sheet, cash flow statement a little bit. So let me get into the finer details. And the story starts with its intention of delisting its stock. Now, what is the meaning of delisting? Delisting is the exact opposite of listing a stock. For example, you would have heard that a lot of companies are coming out with their IPOs. So IPO में क्या होता है? That a private company gets listed on a public exchange. So that is called as listing of a company. Now, when you list a company, there are a bunch of advantages also and disadvantages also. Advantage is that there is better brand building for the company. The company is able to take money from the retail investor. So all that good stuff happen. But the bad part is that once the company gets listed, there are a lot more compliances and regulatory issues. So Vedanta has been a listed company for a while now, but in 2020, they made their intentions very clear that they don't want to be a listed company anymore. And for that, they want to go private. Now, they picked a very interesting year, 2020, and सबको पता है 2020 में क्या हो रहा था? There was COVID crisis going on. The commodity prices were temporarily slashed. For example, here are the oil or crude prices. You can see there was a sharp decline in the crude prices. Similarly, every single commodity prices went down in that crash. The owner of the Vedanta Group, he also understood this point. उन्होंने सोचा कि यार पता है, we will just take advantage of this situation, whatever is happening, and take our company private. So whatever wealth we have generated, we will keep it for ourselves. So that is the intent with which the offer of this delisting was initiated. So basically, here are the details of the offer. That the initial offer was made on 29th September 2020 at 87.5 rupees per share. But during that time, the stock price in the market or CMP was around 140 rupees, right? So in very simple words, and you can check the entire computation here also, that the analyst came out, they did their computation. A lot of FIIs, DIIs that was invested in the Vedanta group, they said कि यार ये 87 का offer आपने दिया है, we are not going to accept it. This is like really bad for us. You are undercutting us on price, so there is no way that we are going to accept this offer. So as a result, that offer of delisting failed. Now subsequently, a lot more analysts started releasing reports that, you know what, Vedanta is trying to undercut its existing shareholders. And here is a commentary from one of the analysts. So basically what he said was that Vedanta wanted to sell the company at this particular price, जो थोड़े दिन पहले थी, right? Because they would have thought about the delisting offer, they would have come out with the pricing. हुआ क्या कि तब तक ना स्टॉक प्राइस बढ़ चुकी थी, right? So the market started recovering a little bit, but the offer that they made was at the COVID bottom, right? So that is the price that they were offering. So very few people accepted it, and as a result, the company had to move to phase 2. Now, what is the second phase? The second phase is that the Vedanta group owners, they increased their own shareholding. Now for this, let me take you to investor shareholding. And here you will see that in 2020, the promoters owned roughly 50% of the shares, and धीरे धीरे कर करके right now, they are owning roughly 68.11% of the share. And where have they bought this share from? Well, they have bought it from the open market. And did they buy the stock at 87 rupees? The short answer is no. They actually purchased their own stock that they wanted to sell at 87 at whatever the existing price was. And just for context, this would be the range where they would have purchased this entire thing in order to increase their stake right from, let's say, right from November of 2020 all the way till December of 2021 to roughly 2022. यहाँ तक उनकी शेयर होल्डिंग बढ़ी है. So they would have purchased the Vedanta stock at all these levels, right? So this is the first key takeaway that you should understand, that they wanted to buy shares from their own shareholders at 87 rupees. But when the delisting failed, they went to the open market and purchased the share at a much higher valuation. So they themselves understood that the intrinsic value of the stock is much higher, but they deliberately misguided their own shareholders. So then comes the second key point, that if you go on the cash flow pattern and study the cash flow from financing activity, and if you go to the dividends paid tab, you will see that there was a sudden spike, right, of roughly 41,000 crores of dividend paid. And this was in the last quarter. Now, last quarter में तो इनकी holding बढ़ गई थी, right? So, for example, you will see that they have increased their holding, and correspondingly, right? If you again go back to the cash flow statement, then you will see that in the last 2 years, they have paid out the highest possible dividends that they could pay in over the last 10-12 years. Right? यहाँ से देख लो, right? The highest 2 dividends have been paid in March of 2022 and the March of 2023. Well, who holds the majority stocks? Well, that is the promoter themselves. So till here, there is the second point. Now comes the third point, that if you go and check this pledged promoter holding, you will see that 100% of the promoter holding is pledged. Now, what is the meaning of pledged promoter holding? So in simple word, it means that the promoter, so let's assume that this person is the promoter. He holds, let's say, 60% of this company, right? 60% of this. So this will be 48,000 crore, right? So hypothetically, he will go to the bank and say that, hey, I have this asset with me. It is worth 48,000 crore. I have it. I'm the promoter. Now, you can take this as a collateral and give me some loan, right? So for example, instead of 48,000 value पे आपको 24,000 का loan मिल जाएगा, 24,000 loan. Now the person can pick it up, repay, buy new companies, do a bunch of other things, increase assets for themselves also, go and buy other companies. Now all this stuff can be done with the pledged promoter holding. Now the interesting part is that if you go to the balance sheet and check the borrowings of the company, you will see that the borrowings have not come down, right? Now, please understand that almost 45,000 crore of dividends were paid. Who were the beneficiaries of this 45,000 crores of dividend? Well, they were the promoters because they hold 70% of the company. The minority shareholders also received the dividend, yes, but this entire money of 45,000 crore could have been used to repay the borrowings, because if you go and read some of the latest news that is coming from the company, well, many of the deals for the company has got cancelled. For example, they were about to do a deal with Foxconn. Foxconn said that yaar kuch gadbad lag rahi hai and we are not going to proceed with the deal. Something is off. So they did not give a very clear answer as to why did they back out of the deal with Vedanta. But having very high debt, where the debt to equity ratio is almost like 1.7, 1.8 times, it is crazy high debt, which could have been easily paid with the business money that they are already making. But यहाँ पे plan plan क्या है? This is the part of their phase 3 where what is it that they are going to do? Well, they are going to play the 2020 game again. Well, they are waiting for the right opportunity to mess with the minority shareholders again and kick them and take the company private at a less expensive price. Now, how is that game going to happen? Let me explain that also. So as the next step, what might happen is that the stock price might continue to fall. It might fall to this level. And फिर यहाँ पे another delisting offer might come. And मान लो कि उस time पे the CMP is hypothetically speaking, let's say 80 rupees, right? Now the Vedanta group might come and say that, you know what, we are going to buy your stocks at 87 rupees. Now you'll say कि अच्छा यार, this is a very good deal because the stock is trading at 80 and in their taking to private offer, they are giving us like 87 rupees. So भले इंसान होंगे and therefore we should go ahead with this deal. So that is how the minority shareholders are going to think about this issue. But the basic game that is going on right now is that you pledge your stock. You are able to borrow more with that borrowed money. You can even buy your own stocks. And that way you are able to gain more control, pay more dividend to yourself. This puts in actual cash in their pocket and eventually take the company private out of this loop whenever you feel like. In this entire game, the stock is moved up, stock is moved down, stock is moved up, stock is moved down. So let me quickly explain how is that done also. So there are two ways in which this would be done. One is that you work around the news, right? I'll not call it any other word. You guys are smart enough. You can understand what working around the news means. And second is the sale of strategic assets. So first key thing, let me speak about the Vedanta Foxconn issue, that the news of Vedanta Foxconn started surfacing somewhere in September of 2022. Please note it. Okay. And then finally, this entire topic was put to rest. क्या deal खत्म हो गई है. And this came out in July of 2023, July August के आसपास. So almost 1 year between 2022 and 2023, this entire game was played कि पहले news निकाल दो कि यार होने वाली है डील, then after that नहीं होने वाली है डील. All that will keep on happening. When news is there that okay deal is going to happen, then what will happen? The stock price will go up. जब फाइनल हो गई चीज की okay then deal will not happen, then what will happen? The stock price will go down. So let us see if this actually happened or not. So here is July of 2022. This is where absolute stock bottom was formed temporarily, and from here the stock started running, right? And जब वो news आ गई, right, next year that okay nothing is going to happen, then the stock started to fall. So this entire thing, whatever is happening up until now, has been a direct result of the pump and the dump that has happened due to what? Due to the Vedanta Foxconn issue. Now you'll say that okay Akshat, you're just putting allegations. Do you have any proof? Now yaar, proof karna is like regulators' responsibility, so they will probably look into this. I had made a video on Brightcom also. Uske baad, months after that, regulators came in and issued notices and all that stuff. So hopefully they will do this here also. But already some of the outlets have started pointing it out. For example, Vedanta was recently asked to pay rupee 30 lakh penalty for spreading misleading information on VIL's deal with Foxconn. This is a very, very important piece of news. Please understand it. Hardly this has been covered anywhere. Now, something very similar happened with the Hindustan Zinc story also, that Vedanta wanted to sell one of its asset to Hindustan Zinc. Now, in Hindustan Zinc, government is also a promoter. So government said, yeah, no, we will not let it go through. So they pushed that deal aside. But when this news flow was created that, okay, Hindustan Zinc is going to acquire this particular company, the stock price again went up. So this is a recurring theme in the company. They keep on doing this to literally raise up the stock. उस टाइम पे होता क्या है कि they are able to pledge more, they are able to borrow more money. Now when the stock falls, using the same money, the stock can be purchased. Now unfortunately what happens is that the retail investor is not that aware and पीछे से काम चलता रहता है and we keep on losing our money. Something opposite is happening right now with HDFC group. Every news that you check, भाई खराब है stock right now, there are so many merger problem will be there for another 3 years, this thing bad, that thing bad. Now see, of course I can be wrong, right? And HDFC bank might continue to fall, who knows? But the bottom line is this. But is it a clean corporate? Have you seen such type of BS happening with HDFC bank? The short answer is no. The entire HDFC group is set for a rally, whether it is HDFC AMC. In fact, HDFC AMC has already given a mini rally, and hopefully in the future also it will continue to give very good returns. HDFC Life, HDFC, the loan arm, HDFC Bank, they're all at good valuations, good clean companies. Are there any regulatory issues? The short answer is no. If you go and study the business, their revenues are growing, their profits are growing. They have allowed shareholders to make wealth and generate wealth and get rich with them in the past. So ऐसा क्या हो गया HDFC Bank में that it has suddenly become a bad company, and 90% of the media right now is just misguiding retail investors. Because stock hai, this is wrong, that is wrong. Every time, if you open the news and keep on hearing this also, then you will start believing, yeah, yeah, sahi bol rahe honge. There are like 10 news outlets that are saying bad things about HDFC, that for the next 3 quarters, it is not going to give any returns. So please do not believe in all this stuff. Use a little bit of sensible analysis. Analyze businesses. It is very, very important to understand how to analyze businesses. Here is a video that I've done where I've explained the entire framework of picking good stocks. Please go and watch it. It will give you better sense. So, okay. So here is the quick summary that according to me, no value unlocking will be done in the Vedanta group. The reason is very simple, that has not been the intent of the promoters to begin with. They looked for a lot of opportunities to exit. Now they are looking to just, solicit a lot of money via dividends. So all that stuff is happening. And if they had any real motive of value unlocking, then paying off debt would have made a lot more sense as per the business fundamentals. But that is not what the real intent looks like. So that is my analysis of the Vedanta group. Of course, I can be wrong like any investor, but I just wanted to put this point across because not many people and media organizations are putting forth this viewpoint. Please stay away from companies like Vedanta where retail investors are geared towards losing money. Their intent is very clear that they will delist the company one day and will try to extract maximum profit for themselves. If you want to pick a good conglomerate, pick something like HDFC. This is not a stock recommendation. I'm just helping you understand the logic behind it. After that, you guys do your own research. If you want to invest in Vedanta, invest in Vedanta. If you want to pick something like HDFC, invest in HDFC. But please do not get shaken by whatever is happening in the news. Ki 4-5% yahan ho gaya stock, then you start cribbing a little bit. Please don't do that. You are investing in a business, stay put. Unless you see a reason to sell a good stock, don't sell a good stock. If the business is solid, the prices or the stock price will catch up. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Do press the like button and I'll see you soon.